I am 88 years old. I have buried my parents. I have buried my wife. I have buried friends I thought would outlive me. And I have buried versions of myself I no longer recognize. I am near the end now. I can feel it. The room is quieter than it used to be. And before I leave it for good, I need to tell you something you will not want to hear. You are surrounded, and you are completely alone. You think loneliness looks like an old man in a rocking chair. It doesn't. It looks like a crowded dinner table where nobody says what they really feel. It looks like a marriage where two people sleep inches apart and haven't been honest in 15 years. It looks like a phone full of contacts and no one you can call at 2 a.m. You think you have time to fix that. You don't. Let me tell you about a man named Daniel. It was 1984. Daniel was my business partner, sharp, charismatic, always laughing. He had a house full of people every weekend. Barbecues, parties, noise. Everyone loved Daniel, or so it seemed. One night after everyone left, we sat in his kitchen. Empty beer bottles on the counter, music still humming low in the background. And he said something I never forgot. He said, "Frank, I don't think anyone here actually knows me." I laughed. I thought he was being dramatic. He wasn't. Daniel had built an empire. But he had never told his wife he was scared of failing. He had never told his son he was proud of him. He had never told his friends he felt inadequate. He performed strength, or he performed success. He performed confidence, but he never risked being seen. 2 years later, his wife left. His son stopped calling. The parties stopped. And Daniel sat in that same kitchen alone, for real this time. Not because people hated him, but because they never knew him. And you cannot love what you do not know. You are doing the same thing. You hide your doubts. You hide your fear. You hide your sadness. You curate a version of yourself that is efficient, productive, stable. You call it maturity. It is armor. And armor is heavy. You carry it for decades. Then one day you wake up and realize no one has ever touched your real skin. Let's talk about your busyness. You tell yourself you're too busy to call your father, too busy to talk deeply with your spouse, too busy to ask your friend if he's really okay. You are not busy. You are avoiding vulnerability. It is easier to work late than to say, "I'm scared." It is easier to scroll than to say, "I feel lost." It is easier to argue about politics than to say, "I need you." I know, I did it too. There was a night in 1991, my wife Margaret sat across from me at the dinner table. She said, "I don't know what you're thinking anymore." And she was right. I hadn't let her in for years, not because I didn't love her, because I was afraid she would see my weakness. And here is the cruel joke. She didn't need me to be strong. She needed me to be real. When she got sick years later, we talked more in 6 months than we had in the previous 10 years. Honest talks, raw talks, the kind of conversations that make your chest ache. I wish we had started earlier. That regret, that one stays. You think you will open up someday when you're more successful, more stable, more confident. Let me give you a fact from an 88-year-old man. You will never feel ready. You will only feel regret. Let's talk about your image. You are obsessed with appearing composed, strong, unbothered. You think if people see you struggle, they will respect you less? Wrong. People do not bond over perfection. They bond over truth. I have attended dozens of funerals. Do you know what people talk about? Not the achievements, not the cars, not the titles. They say, He always told me how he felt. She listened. He was honest. She was kind. Connection is the only currency that doesn't lose value. Everything else depreciates. Music. You fear rejection. You fear awkwardness. You fear that moment when you say something vulnerable and the room goes quiet. Let it go quiet. Silence is where real relationships begin. Now listen carefully. Here is the strategy. No poetry, no philosophy, just truth. Number 1, say the thing. Say the uncomfortable thing. Say the loving thing. Say the apology. Say the gratitude. Stop rehearsing it in your head for 5 years. Number 2, drop the performance. You do not need to be impressive to be loved. You need to be honest. If you are struggling, say so. If you are confused, admit it. If you are scared, let someone see it. Armor protects you from pain. It also protects you from intimacy. Number 3, choose depth over distraction. Put the phone down. Look someone in the eye long enough that it feels slightly uncomfortable. Ask a real question. Wait for a real answer. Most people die socially decades before they die physically. They stop risking emotional exposure, and then they wonder why they feel invisible. I am 88. My hands shake. My friends are mostly gone, but the memories that warm me are not the business wins, not the applause, not the money. It is the nights we stayed up talking honestly. It is the arguments that ended in forgiveness. It is the times I finally told the truth. That is what stays. Everything else dissolves. You are not afraid of being alone. You are afraid of being seen. But I promise you this, it is better to be rejected for who you are than loved for who you pretend to be. The clock is ticking, not just on your life, on your chances to let someone truly know you. Don't wait until the hospital room. Don't wait until the funeral. Don't wait until the silence becomes permanent. Say the thing. Drop the armor. Let someone see you. I'm tired now. Go and be known.